Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the GioMoShow, right here on 88.3 FM WXOU, Auburn Hills, Michigan, Oakland University, and all your wonderful station identification features, baby. I'm your host, Giovanni Moschieri, and the sports media director here at WXOU, and the GioMoShow is your home for all Oakland sports and beyond on 88.3 FM. Don't forget to follow WXOU on our MAB award-winning social media platforms, including Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. You can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at the same address at WXOU Radio, and Twitter is simply at WXOU. Be sure to join the WXOU Discord server as well to get in touch and stay in touch with all of those involved in WXOU, and you can find all information and stories and recaps, everything you need to come out of this station. You can find that all on WXOU.org. And while you're on the internet and you're searching for all that WXOU goodness, I'm part of that WXOU goodness, so why don't you go and follow me as well. I'm on Instagram at Moschieri_Giovanni. I'm on Instagram for the show. The show has its own Instagram page at the GioMo Show. Once again, that's the GioMo Show. Twitter is GioMoSchieri WXOU. And there's a TikTok out there somewhere, although it is not the most active. And if you are not with me right now on 88.3 FM, if you're not with me right now on WXOU.org/live, if you're not with me right now on the TuneIn Radio app, then no problem, no matter, no issue. You can find the GioMoShow at any time on YouTube and Spotify, as every episode is recorded and uploaded after the fact, just to make sure that there's no way to miss the GioMoShow. And you guys know the usual deal. And for those of you that are new, let me walk you through the menu. Let me talk to you about what dishes we're serving up on the GioMoShow today. So we're gonna kick things off with your Oakland University NCAA sports. And I make the distinction because I cover the club sports as well. That comes right after the NCAA segment. We also are going to go through down the NFL. We're going to give you that football therapy you need. We're going to, the doctor's going to prescribe you a little bit of football therapy, and I'm here to give it to you. We're going to talk about the Lions against the Chargers. We're going to give a little, a thought, at least, to the Lions and the Bears that's coming up next week. Or rather, it's coming up this Sunday. We're going to recap Week 10 of the NFL. Some of the big headlines, kind of breeze through the scoreboard a little bit. Stuff that jumps out to us. And we're going to give you the picks of the week. The GioMoShow does picks live now, baby. So you can see me either miss a huge detail and make a wrong pick, or you can see me in ignorant bliss and get them right anyway, despite the details that I may have missed. So we're going to get into all that here on the GioMoShow. And for those of you who haven't followed me yet on Instagram at the GioMoShow, then you kind of missed out on who the interview is going to be for this week. Then you kind of don't know that the GioMoShow does interviews every single week with those, either athletes, coaches, or those otherwise involved in athletics, or even sometimes the sports media game. So for you who don't know what's going to be going on after the show, then you don't know that I got assistant coach Bobby Naubert of Oakland University men's basketball. Got him on the show. He hasn't even been on campus for very long, and I already got him on the GioMoShow. And our new SID, Michael, was also in the background as well. But we have the Bobby Naubert interview. We have the piece that lets you get to know the new piece of Oakland University men's basketball. It is, of course, the big story is Campy in his 40th season, but we got to get to know some of the new guys that are on the squad as well. And Bobby Naubert was a fantastic interview, and I suggest that you guys go and watch it. That one was recorded just a couple hours ago, so please be patient with me. That one should be up by tomorrow morning, and you can find that one not on the GioMoShow YouTube page, but rather you can find it on the WXOU Sports YouTube page. Last announcement for you guys, and last announcement for you guys to go like and follow the WXOU Sports page. That's where we got all of our stuff. That's where we got the broadcast. That's where we got the calls of the game. That's where we got some of the other player interviews. That's where we got the full broadcast. That's where we got pregame shows. We did a live pregame show before Tuesday's game against Bowling Green. And what a game that deserved it, for sure. So be sure to like and subscribe and stay in tuned with the WXOU Sports YouTube page to not miss anything. So, with all of that out of the way, with me laying the groundwork and giving you guys a roadmap for what the GioMoShow is going to be today, with all that being said, I got a couple more announcements for you guys. We start the show about Bart's Pizza. Bart Basilico reinvented his father's pizzeria business by putting it on wheels. I'm talking a pizza food truck, baby. Bart and his wife Lauren travel all around Metro Detroit, cooking up homemade pies made fresh to order in their 4-layered pizza oven on wheels. You can find them on their website at eatbartspizza.com or on Facebook and Instagram at Bart's Pizza. His last name is literally Basil, so you know he knows what he's doing in the kitchen and with that wonderful pie that he'll be making you for your own enjoyment. And don't forget to follow all the social media and get a cannoli while you're there as well. Where's he going to be this month? Where's he going to be for the holiday season? Well, that's up to you guys. You guys can give him a call, and you guys can give him, get him involved in the party, and you can find out where he's going to be on his website and the social media as well. Bart's Pizza, it's too good. And let me just make sure the soundboard is working. Can I hear a Baba Booey, please?
Baba Booey.
Hey, it's working. All right. So, one other thing, I got to tell you guys what we're going to be calling a WXOU for this week. So tomorrow at 7 o'clock, be sure to stay tuned into WXOU as women's basketball. They get their season started at home against Cleary University. Yeah! So be sure to stay tuned to WXOU. The game and the tip-off is at 7 o'clock, and we got the call for you on WXOU. Gavin and Joey are going to be the ones telling you the story, and we got Harj going to be sitting right here in studio for the game. And that's the only broadcast we got going on, at least before next week's show. But a little heads up, we do have a little bit more basketball action coming up as basketball season is here, baby. We'll talk all about it. But I want to get things started with men's soccer. A little bit more of a somber note, a little bit more of a shame, we'll say, a little bit more of a oh man kind of deal. So men's soccer, they completed their 2023 season with a loss in the finals to the Green Bay Phoenix. It's an unfortunate ending to what was a fantastic season, and there were plenty of Horizon League honors to go around, and we'll talk about them in a little bit. I was at the game. Unfortunately, I couldn't have the call for you guys, but I did write a article about it, post-game recap on WXOU.org. Look under the sports tab and you're going to find it. And it was an exciting game to watch. You could tell it was the finals. You can tell that everything was on the line for this game for both the teams. And they were playing with that energy and they were playing with that fury, a little more pep in the step, a little bit more chippy. But there was a point in the game where the offense just kind of got away from Oakland, and Green Bay was bringing all of the pressure. And that pressure, at least in the first half, the first about 20 minutes of nonstop, constant push into Oakland's defending third, and it ended up resulting in a goal for Green Bay. And that gave them the 1-0 lead, and that they would take that one into the end of the game, ending the Golden Grizzlies season on the Oakland soccer field, and hoisted the Horizon League championship trophy and punched their ticket into the NCAA tournament. Man, it was a bummer. The last seconds of the game were ticking. Oakland had chances and corner kicks and free kicks and opportunities to go up. And they were playing. I mean, obviously, you got to play for all the marbles. You're going to play aggressive when you're down 1-0 at home in the championship game. And they had so many opportunities, and they just couldn't get the last touch on it. They couldn't put it together, and it ended in sorrow for the Golden Grizzlies. The last seconds were ticking away. The last shot was taken by Oakland, and everyone on the team just kind of collapsed. They fell to their knees. They fell to the floor. They couldn't believe what just happened, and it was a tough scene from an Oakland fan. But I will say, otherwise, the atmosphere was a championship game level atmosphere. Green Bay, the Wisconsin fans, they travel well for their Horizon League teams. Milwaukee's always there, especially for the women's soccer because they're one of the best in the country. But, Milwaukee, they travel. Green Bay, this time they traveled. They had somebody there, I don't know whose father or whose cousin or was, but they had a drum that they had strapped to their chest and were beating side to side the entire game long. It was kind of sweet, and they actually got a picture of Green Bay's team. Whoever knew the person gave them the drum, so that was featured in the team photo with the trophy. So it was a cool scene, but ultimately a shame that the Golden Grizzlies could not cap off and win 2 out of the 3 and win 2 in 3 years. But some of those Horizon League honors that I wanted to mention, and I gave you a little preview of. So head coach Eric Pogue was named co-coach of the year, shared the honors with Green Bay's coach. So the number 1 and number 2 seeded teams, they get the coach of they received the coach of the year. Mikey Ketterman, he was named to the offensive player of the year. And Oakland had 3 teams named to all league first team, that being Jace Foster, that being Owen Smith, and obviously the Offensive Player of the Year, Mikey Ketterman. The second team consisted of Ville Ahola and Donovan Phillip, and the all-freshman team consisted of Noah Roca, Carson Bella, and Donovan Phillip as well. So it was not the best ending to the men's soccer season. We followed it a little bit here on WXOU. We tried our best to call and learn soccer and do our best to broadcast those games. But overall, Oakland is a very formidable team. They made it and hosted the finals. They're one of the top teams in the league. So with that and with all the honors and with a great season behind them, I'm going to give them a nice, big, well done, one that is deserved. So moving on now to esports. We talked about some of the action with the esports that both the Overwatch 2 team and the Smash Brothers team made it to top 16 in the NACE. The NACE is, we could consider it the NCAA of college esports. It's the more established league. It's the one that most of the colleges compete and participate in. So we'll consider that the NCAA. So both the Smash Brothers team and the Overwatch team, they made it to the top 16 in the nation. That's big deals. That's worthy of cheering. And so last week I told you that they made it to top 16, but this week I'm telling you that they made it to top 8. They continue. They're still going. They're still fighting to get that NACE championship for Oakland in Overwatch and in and in Smash Brothers. All of them are esports, but in Overwatch 2 and Smash Brothers. So Overwatch, they came in as the 10th seed, and they faced Shenandoah, who was the number 7 seed. And in one of only 2 upsets throughout the top 16 round, Oakland was able to upset Shenandoah with a pretty dominant 3-1 victory. Well done! And they are, like I mentioned, only one of 2 teams that ever complete the upset. So they now continue throughout the NACE tournament, and we'll give you updates next week as to how they do, in the top 8 round. Super Smash Brothers, they came in as a 4th seed, and they also played Shenandoah, but their Smash Brothers team was the 13th seed. And Oakland, they did drop the first game in the best of 3 set. And, after dropping one, you got to win 2 in a row to continue, and that's exactly what Oakland did. In Game 3, when Oakland and Shenandoah were tied up, and this is the tournament, this is elimination, this is huge, Oakland fought it all the way to the last stock. It was 1 stock to 1 stock, and Oakland avoided being upset by Shenandoah and got the victory for themselves to continue into top 8. Well done! I love this soundboard. I just love this thing. So congratulations, and the job's not finished yet. Work's not done. They're not finished. So be sure to keep up to date with them at Oakland Esports on Twitter and twitch.tv/Oakland Esports. Or I can't remember if I said it right, but at Oakland Esports on Twitter for most of their updates. That's the best place to get to know them. And they also have a couple articles detailing their trip to the NACE Top 16 on GoldenGrizzlies.com. So be sure to read up on that and get to know your esports team, baby. Moving on now to Swim and Dive. Swim and Dive, they played... I said play. I keep saying it. They faced Grand Valley State University this past Friday, the 10th. And Oakland, neither the men's nor the women's team came out with a victory, losing to the Lakers. The Lakers got a really good team, though. And I'm reading from GoldenGrizzlies.com. They got the summary of the GVSU meet, and it said, despite the loss, the Golden Grizzlies put up an incredible battle against the Lakers all night, totaling 15 first-place finishes. In the pool is the completion of the quote. Well done! Some highlights for you. We got, I'm going to try my hardest with this name, but Clarissa Bezudenout. We'll assume that that's correct. Got first place in the 100-yard backstroke, and for the men's, Harry Nicholson got first place in backstroke. Harry Nicholson also got first place in the 200 backstroke. In the 100-yard freestyle, in Heat 1, Reagan Reitz got first place. And for the men in Heat 1, Joey Countryman got first place. I'm just giving you some of the highlights, some of the dual first place finishes for the men's and the women's. And for the women in diving, Ellie Shalafo's doing it again. First place in both the 3-meter and the 1-meter diving. and that awarded her, along with Harry Nicholson, as Horizon League Swimmers of the Week.
Well done!
Yep. They got those honors for their performance against the Lakers, and currently they're swimming, or the women's team are swimming against the Eastern Michigan Eagles. That meet started a couple hours ago, so I'm assuming it's still going, and we'll give you the updates and we'll give you the results of the Golden Grizzlies and the Eagles in the pool. We'll give you that next week when all the results come in. And now, moving on, we got basketball to talk about. The Blacktop is alive once again. We're back in season. The men, they christened the Blacktop this year with a victory over Bowling Green, and celebrating Campy's 40th season obviously is a big deal. They made a big celebration about it. They had teammates and alumni and coaches all have wonderful videos and messages to say for their dusty old fellow head coach. So, everyone had nothing but praises to say. We saw Mike Malone of the Denver Nuggets, who coached under Campy for a year at Oakland back in the day. He had some words to say. Jim Boeheim, the former longest tenured NCAA men's basketball coach, he had some words for Campy. Tom Izzo obviously had things to say as their friendship goes way back. And it was a great game. Let's get to some of the basketball now. I was there on the sideline for WXOU. I had play-by-play. Justin Shepard, he had color. He did a great job. For a debut broadcast, he was awesome. I'm going to give little Mr. Shepard a...
Well done!
That was a great broadcast. I felt great about it. The game was a lot of fun, too. Oakland beat the Bowling Green Falcons with a final score of 81-62. That meant Buddy's Pizza for those in the crowd, and I'll talk a little bit about how that came to be. But in the game that we saw, in the game that you heard here on WXOU, it was intense. It was a game where everybody just had ants in their pants, and they had the energy, they had the physicality, and they were just going at it all game long. It was an incredible one to watch. Almost hard to keep up with at times. And Oakland, they started the game off up 7-0. That's how it started. And that's just about how it finished. Oakland got up to a 21-point lead at one point, finished it with a 17-point lead over the Falcons. And it looked, if you didn't look at the scoreboard, it was a tightly contested game. Bowling Green had a little bit of an advantage in size as their new transfer from Southern Utah, Jason Spurgeon, is 7 feet tall. The big man from Australia, his brother's on the team too. He didn't get much playing time though, but Jason, he had 17 points. He had 10 rebounds. Ended up fouling out at the end of the game with 7 of 12 from the field. And I don't usually give the other team's box score very often here on the GioMoShow, but he was giving it to him. 7-foot presence is going to do that against Oakland, even though they have improved their height. They have gotten taller, they have gotten older, a little bit stronger too, but they were able to battle against it. Shared between Andre Polk had some time against them, Baru had time against them, Chris Conway. They all did a very good job overall containing him as well as Rashawn Agee. Or a G. I don't know if it's a soft or hard G with both Spurgeon and Agee. But either way, it was an exciting game. Oakland's three-point defense proved to stay hot as they held the Falcons to 25% from three, as well as they held Ohio State and Illinois to also under 30% from the three. And that's what the zone is designed to do. That's what Campy was telling us. It's designed to take away the three. It's done it so far against Big Ten teams and against MAC teams. So getting down into the Oakland stats, Trae Townsend, he led the scoring with 20 points on 8 of 16 from the field and 4 of 5 from the free throw line, 4 rebounds and 4 assists. Trae Townsend was leading the Golden Grizzlies in assists, and they kind of asked him about it, or we kind of asked him about it at the post-game press conference, and it kind of comes with Blake being out a little bit. That comes with transitioning out of the Jalen Moore era. So you go watch the post-game press conference on GoldenGrizzlies.com. It'll get you your answer. But yeah, he was distributing the ball pretty well, and there were times where he wants to go score, but he sees the outlet pass, and he has got teammates that get hot and that are able to take advantage of it and give him those assists. Looking down at the score sheet, Jack Golke was second on the team in scoring. He had 14. He was 3 of 12 from the 3 and made all 5 of his free throws. He also had a team-leading 7 rebounds, which you wouldn't quite expect from, the 6'3" shooting guard. But he grabbed 7 boards. He was getting after it. And Rocket Watts, he had a game of his own. He had 10 points. He was 3 of 6 from the field. He was 4 of 6 from the line. In previous 2 games, struggling a little bit. Now he's picked it up, and we heard Isaiah Jones in the post-game interview echo that as well. He had a rough start. Everyone was hating on him, but now he showed what he could do and improved. That's roughly what Jones was saying. And then DQ Cole, he had 12 points in the game. He was 4 of 5 from the field and made all 4 of his 3-point shots. Woof, I'm going to give that a well done.
Well done!
It was perfect from beyond the arc and only missed one other field goal in the game. He had a rebound, and he had 3 steals as well. Oakland had 14 steals this game. You believe that? That was awesome.
Well done!
Come on now. You get 14 steals in the game. You're picking at it, and that zone is working. Anyway, I've rambled on this one for too long now, but it was a great game. It was 81-62, Golden Grizzlies. And, I mentioned that I would talk about how we got to 80 points. So, at the end of the game, the story was told already. Oakland was going to win it. We were going to get our interview with Isaiah Jones. And it came down to where Oakland, they emptied the benches. They had Evan Solomon. They had Michael Rogers. They had Andre Polk. They threw the guys in there to finish out and get them some few minutes. And Michael Rogers, he had a couple steals. And, Oakland was at 78, 79 points. And everybody knew that 80 points and a win in the arena would give buddies pizza coupons. And everybody was electric. Everybody was really feeling it. And especially when Rogers, he got the ball. He stole it and was sprinting across. He was carrying Falcons with him. He had the ball in one hand, dribbling. He was stiff-arming with the other. Did not get the basket, though, but he was fouled. So that gave him 2 free throws. He, at, I believe, 79 points. Missed the first one. But he's got a second chance. The crowd's getting loud. He's going for a second. Misses that one, too. So we're stuck at 79 points, and we're all worried that they ain't going to get 80. And they ain't going to get that pizza. But a similar situation happened again. Michael Rogers, he sticks his hand in, he's got the ball. He's going again. Same thing. Doesn't make the basket, but gets fouled. He's blessed with another chance to get at least 1 free throw to get this team over 80. Missed the first one. Or excuse me, no, that's wrong. He made both of them to get us to that 81 points. Everyone was cheering. All the electricity in the building was awesome. And I asked Campy about that. That was my only question at the post-game press conference. I asked him about, what was going through your head? What were you feeling when Rogers was taking those free throws? Just kind of, light, fun question. And he said that he didn't know that it was 80. He said that it used to be 85, and I guess they bumped it down to 80. And he said he looked over at Coach Smitty, and he said, "Is Buddy's 80?" So he kind of let him, kept going, and they didn't ask them to run out the clock. They let them get the 80 points for the crowd, and he kind of explained that to Todd Simon of Bowling Green, the head coach, and no hard feelings. Hey, go get it. It's fun. Don't worry about it. And everyone got their pizza, except I didn't grab a coupon.
You blew it!
Oops, the wrong sound effect.
Baby!
That was supposed to be just...
You blew it!
I know, I didn't get a coupon, but whatever. We'll get another one. But yeah, that was a fun game. And it's a good start to the season, and I'm real excited about it. Anyway, I rambled on for that one for too long. Women's basketball, they traveled to Ann Arbor this past Tuesday to finish out a couple of games in the Big Ten. Let me make sure that I forget when they played Michigan State. Yes, they played Michigan State last Wednesday and then followed that up with a Tuesday trip to Ann Arbor. It's a tough go. They had a tough go of it. Lost to Michigan State, lost to U of M, but they come home tomorrow. 7 o'clock, I told you all about it. They play Cleary University to christen the Blacktop with their own success and their own win. So be sure to tune in on WXOU at 7 o'clock for that game. Or if you're around campus, just go to the game. we're here for if you're not at the game. But if you can't get at the game, what better way to experience the game than with your own eyes and with your own ears, huh? How about it? So, 7 o'clock, they play Cleary University. And it is 8 staff night, according to GoldenGrizzlies.com. And now we're going to wrap it up. We got the last big segment, the last big news in Oakland NCAA sports. We got to talk about the volleyball team. The regular season is wrapped up. Oakland has firmly planted themselves in the 5th seed and will be continuing to battle and to fight in the Horizon League tournament. So, what are they going to be looking at? How do they get to this tournament? Well, the last weekend was a trip to Wisconsin. They played both Green Bay and then they played Milwaukee last Friday and Saturday. And those were, so Oakland was at the 3rd seed at the time. They had the game against IUPUI the previous Tuesday. They kind of bumped up against the rest of the teams that didn't play that day. And they were in 3rd place going into that weekend. And with an opportunity to either stay at 3 or advance to 2nd seed by, with winning those 2 games, it didn't quite happen. Oakland had a tough go of it in Wisconsin. They lost to Green Bay 1-3, and then to Milwaukee 0-3. That dropped them down to the 5th seed, but top 6 gets into the tournament, so Oakland was not knocked out. They were just knocked down. So that places them in the tournament as the 5th seed with an 11-7 conference record. They, tomorrow at 6 o'clock, will be facing Northern Kentucky against the 5 against the 4th seed in the Nutter Center. That's Wright State's stadium, the Nutter Center.
What?
Yeah, that's what it's called. I know. It's funny. But what happened last time these two teams faced, so Northern Kentucky, at the time, we called this game on WXOU. That's why I remember it so well. So at the time, it was Oakland was I believe, the 3rd seed, and Northern Kentucky was the 2nd seed. And Oakland, they just got done playing against Purdue Fort Wayne all the way up to set 5. That was on a Tuesday, and then on a Friday they play against Northern Kentucky. They also played it to 5, but it wasn't the same 5 that they did against Purdue Fort Wayne. They pulled off the reverse sweep on the Norse.
Well done!
They were down 0-2, and they won every single one along the way up. The execution just kind of tightened up, and they did, what they were doing was working, and it got them the win. That bumped them up to, I believe, the 2nd seed at the time. So Oakland has experience not only playing against this team, but playing 5 sets against this team. So I got my hopes up for women's volleyball at the Nutter Center.
What?
The Nutter Center, yes, that's what it's called. Wish them good luck. And winner of that will face either number 1 seed Wright State or number 2 seed Green Bay. So we'll see what happens in the semifinals. If they win tomorrow, they play on Saturday, and then the championship will be that Sunday. So it's volleyball championship weekend, everybody. So be sure to stay tuned and keep up to date and cheer on your Golden Grizzlies any way you can from afar. And that wraps up the Oakland Sports Update. Not quite, actually. I'm just going through my notes. There's Horizon League honors to talk about for women's volleyball. So the all-academic team was released. Emily Wickman, Patty Cesarini, they made it to the all-academic team.
Well done!
Kennedy Dolmage, listen in the honorable mentions. Just to be technically correct here. But we got 3 all-academic players on our volleyball team.
Well done!
We have some career milestones. We have Sarah Turner. She came in pretty quick after the season started. She passed 1,000 digs in her career. Well, now, after this weekend, she surpassed 2,000 assists. So, whoops, hold on. That was the wrong button. I'm going to give that another well done.
Well done!
That's over 1,000 digs. That's over 2,000 assists for Sarah Turner. So congratulations. And some of the bigger news. Oakland University has a new school record for total digs in a single season. Emily Wickman completed and broke the record with 638 digs on the season.
A new record!
I love that soundbite. I want to use that so bad. So congratulations to Emily Wickman. And not only that, not only did she break the record, but she got first team All-Horizon League. Patty Cesarini was second team All-Horizon League. Gentry Brown was All-League freshman team. So to the volleyball team, a good luck and a
Well done!
in the regular season. So we'll see what goes down in the Nutter Center. And now that's going to wrap up the Oakland sports segment here. We ran really long here. So we're at the halfway mark here. And I got to tell you about Friday Night Grooves. Fridays at 8 p.m., listen to Friday Night Groove right here on WXOU. Hosted by DJ RBJ since 2011, Friday Night Groove is your home for some of the best soul, jazz, electronic, indie, and alternative music here at the station. He has interviews with local artists and has one of the best radio voices in the game. You can go to FridayNightGroove.com for more information, and you can follow at Trill Gunderson. That's at TRIL Gunderson. You can follow that on Instagram for the latest on the show. And tune in to Friday Night Grooves, Fridays at 8 p.m. on WXOU. We're going to throw it to a break, and when we come back, we're going to give you a quick blitz through the club sports happening at Oakland University, and we're going to bring you that football therapy that you need, as well as the picks, and not sure we'll have enough time to sneak peek the Bobby Naubert interview, so you're just going to have to keep up to date and stay tuned to see when that releases on YouTube on WXOU Sports. So we'll be right back with the rest of the GioMoShow. Welcome back, everybody, to the GioMoShow. 88.3 FM WXOU. I'm your host, Giovanni Moschieri, Sports Media Director of WXOU. And we got a little bit more Oakland sports to cover. We got the club sports that I want to make sure that I give them their proper news, as the NCAA segment went a little bit longer than expected. But there's a lot to talk about. We're right now in the transition between some of the fall sports and the winter sports, so there's going to be a lot more of the NCAA sports. So let's talk about some of the club sports. We started off with D1 hockey. This past Friday, they played out of conference against Eastern Michigan, a game that ended in a shootout, and a game that Oakland University came back with a win, 2-1 over the Eastern Michigan Eagles. They now go on to travel to going to Adrian College to face the Bulldogs. That's going to be Tuesday the 21st. Oakland D3 hockey. They played this weekend 2 games against Indiana University, one at Buffalo Wild Wings Arena and one at their place, whatever it's called. And the Oakland ended up sweeping Indiana, winning the first game 3-1, and then winning the second 6-5. And their upcoming games, they're gonna be playing tomorrow at 8:30 at Buffalo Wild Wings Arena. They're gonna be playing against the Michigan State Spartans. So be sure to go down to the Buffalo Wild Wings Arena in Troy. It's free for students to get in to watch their team rock and roll against the Spartans. And then, so that's Friday the 17th, and then Sunday the 19th, they travel to Michigan State to play against Spartans in their house. So be sure to follow and get all of your updates at OU_D3_hockey at on Instagram. And you can also go to their website for all the, all the previews, all the results, all the summaries. They got great stuff on that website, and you can find it attached to their Instagram account. But if you want me to read it, it's Oakland Hockey D3 .acha.hockeytech.com. So be sure to stay up to date with your D3 club hockey team. And men's club volleyball, they played in the Hardwood Classic, also in Michigan State, and took home some smiles and sore legs, according to their Instagram. Their third set lost against Michigan State's B team in a D3 or in a D2 gold bracket. So well done and well fought to the men's club volleyball team. I got an interview with them, as well as both the D3 and D1 club hockey teams. I got interviews with them on the GioMoShow. You go through the GioMoShow's YouTube channel, and you can find those interviews, and you can learn about these teams a little bit more beyond the stat sheets, a little bit more beyond their Instagram accounts. Learn about the people, learn about the athletes. So you can scroll down on the GioMoShow interviews playlist on the channel, and you can find what you're looking for. Moving on now to the biggest story. Another team that I had interviewed. This one was last week. And the big news is women's club soccer. They're now in Round Rock, Texas right now to compete in the NERSA National Soccer Championship.
Well done!
Well, not done, but there we go. So for the tournament, game 1 is going to be today, that is this morning, 9:45 Central Time. Game 2 was then. Hold on, I didn't realize what they were playing today. Forgive me, but they played. Well, that'd be an hour. So they played at 10:45 a.m. this morning, and then they played, or that was against Colorado's black team. Then game 2 was at 5:45, about an hour ago, against Vermont. And then game 3 is tomorrow against San Diego State at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. I hope I'm doing my clock math right. So, you know what? While we're here, while we're talking about it, I should have looked this up. Forgive me. I'm going to go check out some of the updates because they're keeping up to date on the NERSA's website. So forgive me 1 second while I stall and look this up. This is so unprofessional of me, but be sure to stay tuned because we're going to be talking about the NFL real soon, and we're going to give you that football therapy. We're going to talk about the Lions and the Lions against the Chargers, Lions against the Bears. Talk about the week of the NFL, and we're going to get into the GioMoShow picks. So stay tuned. But before that, we got to kind of get these links up and running. I got to tell you guys, because I can't just tease you guys that they already played today and not give you, what actually went down. So allow me to give you some of that news. Oh, come on. Why is this hard to find? So either way, it looks like I can't quite find it in time, but no matter. You could go look for it yourself. They got the link down in their Instagram page. They posted a little summary of the game schedule. So be sure to go there, find the link, find the results yourself. Forgive me, we're running out of time here on the GioMoShow. We only got 20 minutes left. So that wraps up the Oakland Club Sports Update. We're going to throw it to break before we get into the football therapy. Tonight, the Eli Andrews Show. Thursdays at 10 p.m. on WXOU. And when the clock strikes 10 o'clock, the FCC goes to sleep. That means hilarity ensues on the Eli Andrews Show. Listen to Eli Sepulveda and Andrew Deacon ask their guests the wildest questions that they write for each other to ask. That means Eli will write questions for Andrew to ask, and Andrew will write questions for Eli to ask. So join in on the hilarity tonight at 10 p.m. right here on WXOU. We're going to throw it to a quick break, and then we'll get to the NFL and get to that football therapy that you need and that I need too. We'll be right back on the GioMoShow.
Baba Booey.
Welcome back, everybody, to the final segment of the GioMoShow. It's football therapy, baby. Yeah! Give it to me. Yeah! Let's talk about the NFL. Let's talk about the Detroit Lions. Let's talk about the picks coming up at the end of the show. So, unfortunately, I didn't get to watch beginning to end of the Lions at the Chargers. Things going on Sunday, busy Sunday. Don't worry about it. But I heard enough talk around town. I saw a little bit of it at the beginning, and I kind of got the gist of it throughout the week. And some of my takeaways is that I'm ecstatic. I'm excited. I'm not worried. Some people, so you got a mixed bag in this game, which we won, so I don't know why it's so mixed. But one camp is impressed and happy with how the offense did and how they won in a different style than they have in previous games, while the other camp is very concerned about the defense and very concerned that the game had to come down to basically a fourth down call and had to kind of gamble for the win. Now, are either of them wrong or any of them wrong? No. There is reason to be joyous, there's reason to be excited, and there's reason to be, in awe, and to a degree, of how the Lions did. But there's also reason to be worried and a little bit concerned about the performance of the defense. They gave up 38 points. And they, for the standard that the team is set on defense, that's not quite good enough. That's almost what the Ravens did to us. That's what the Seahawks almost did, kind of did to us. Scored up a lot of points, and we ended up losing those games. So Some people see that we barely squeaked out of this one. I don't quite see it that way. The way I see it with the defense is that, and this kind of applies to the team as a whole. So, I already told you, I'm excited and I'm happy about the win because they won in a different style. Because now, I think after this game, we've won in, or have played in every kind of game. We've played the games where the defense is dominant. Talk about the Falcons game, the Bucks game, and the Raiders game. The defense was the main show. We played games where the offense was dominant. Think about the Packers game and kind of think about the Chargers game too. We played a game where it was really close, but we lost it. That was the Seahawks game. We played games where it was really close and we won it. That was the Chargers game, and that was also the Chiefs game. We played games where we demolished the opponent, that being the Carolina game. We also played a game where we got demolished, that being the Ravens game. So already coming into Week 11, the Detroit Lions have played in almost every kind of game possible. So that gets me excited because not only have we been through all those situations and are 7-2, first of all, but it's that now there's experience with all kinds of teams. So if we have to face a team that gives us trouble, maybe the offense isn't clicking, maybe knock on wood, another offensive player goes down, and it's not going to be running as efficiently as possible. Or the machine isn't going to be running as efficiently as possible. Well, we've played games where that's happened, and the defense has stepped up. And the defense has played to that level to get us still the win. Okay, well, what happens if we get, the doors blown off us on the defensive side? Well, we got the offense to be able to keep pace and to get the win regardless. So I'm not scared of other teams, especially the teams that we got coming up now. Especially, I'm not scared of the Bears or the Packers or the Saints or the Bears again or the Broncos, Vikings and Cowboys a little bit, but I'm not concerned. I'm not throwing my hands up. I'm not pulling the fire alarm. The team is 7-2. The team has played every way possible. The team is successful. And now we're kind of in the best shape that we've been in all season. This game was the first game, this being the Chargers game, the first game where we truly had the 1-2 punch of David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. This is where that kind of imagination, that plan, that the reason that we got Gibbs and Montgomery is to do what they did in Los Angeles. To have that hard-nosed bowling ball, bashing gash runner up between the tackles in David Montgomery. To have that, along with the flashy, the pass game threatening, the speedy Jahmyr Gibbs. Montgomery had 12 for 116 with a touchdown and a 75-yard run along with that. Gibbs had 14 carries, 77 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And it looks like Gibbs was purely running the ball this game. But we now have that 1-2 punch. Before, there were some games where we had just Montgomery and it was just kind of the one punch. And then there were games like the Raiders where we just had the one punch of Gibbs. But now we got the 1 and the 2 punch in the backfield. And that's crazy. That is crazy. Almost 200 yards rushing just between the two of them on, what would that be, 26 carries? Dog. That's really good. I'm happy about that. That's what we've been waiting for the whole time. And it's kind of what I've been talking about before, where I'm not picky as to who gets more carries, who gets more touches. They both are going to work. They're both fantastic offensive pieces with different skill sets that you could apply in different kinds of games. If you got to run out the clock, if you got to control the ball, give it to Montgomery. If you got to score and keep up and you need a big play, you got Gibbs. It's not a battle between the two. It's it's just two good running backs. And I'm ecstatic about it. I'm very happy about it. And going back to the defense, I understand the concerns, like I mentioned before. But for me, and I kind of liked what Campbell was saying in the post-game press conference in regards to fourth down calls, what made him do it, the thought process behind it. He knew that the defense wasn't playing good that game. So he wasn't going to put the defense in a position where they had to stop the Chargers at the end of the game, because he knew from the game that they weren't going to be able to do that. So he adapted and he played the game accordingly. Sometimes that's going to happen. And that comes with, like I was talking about before, us playing in every possible game situation. Campbell knows how to manage it. He's not going to force something that hasn't been working. He's going to change it up, and he's going to do what's best for the team to win. I like that. That gives me confidence. And that keeps, I'm not as worried going into the last 3 games of the season against the Vikings and the Cowboys and the Vikings again. And then even into the playoffs. I'm not worried because we've seen it all. And we've done it all. And those that we didn't do, I trust that we'll do better next time. So now looking, I'm going to give just probably a couple minutes on now the Lions and Bears game coming up this weekend. There is nothing on that Bears team that scares me. Nothing that I've seen this season. I'm going to pause for a second. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that there's nothing that scares me. The game against Washington, and even the game before that against the Broncos, that is a little bit scary. Sure, it's a bit of a spook. It's a bit of a goosebumps level of scariness. But do they scare me to the degree that we'll lose the game? Absolutely not. DJ Moore can have 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. I don't think they're beating us. Justin Fields can rush for like 95 and throw for 250. Or some crazy, or some ground and air performance. I don't think they're still going to beat us, even with that. So I'm not scared of this or the other teams in the upcoming schedule. Sure, the Broncos have gotten better. Are we going to lose to the Broncos? I don't think so. Sure, the Vikings have gotten better. Am I going to be scared of them? Not to the degree that we're going to lose. Maybe we'll split with them. But they don't threaten me for division or for beating us in the playoffs. I don't think that's going to happen. So I am, in a word, supremely confident, at least in this game against the Bears and in the next one that's going to be in Soldier Field. I don't think they're a good team, and I don't think they can hang with us. Simple as that. I don't care that they got Montez Sweat and paid him a lot of money in the middle of the season. That doesn't bother me because we got the best O-line in the league. And even DJ Moore, what else is there on the offense? Khalil Herbert? Deontay Foreman? Not against our rushing defense. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. And you can focus on DJ Moore and take him away, and there's not much else. So we got it against the Bears, and we got it against the Packers too. Let's just do that. Let's be real here. Thanksgiving's going to taste a lot better this year. Come on now. Let's go. And that's now going to bring us to the GioMoShow picks for Week 11. Yeah! Come on now. We picked the game straight up here on the GioMoShow in a friendly coworker pick'em league. And as it currently stands, I could be doing better. Let me see how I did last week. I can't remember, actually. So I started off the season white hot. I won the week in week 1 with 13 of the 16 games picked correctly. I have yet to reach that peak again. Well, I know that now that there's bye weeks, it's not going to be 13 games, but I've yet to hit the correct percentage since then. Kind of fell down. Hold on, I'm almost there. So I kind of started off, like I said, hot, number 1. And where am I right now? I'm 29th.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
So I went for 13 wins, 11, then 9, 10, 9, 7, 5, 11, 7, 8. Not bad, but I could do better. And we're going to do better than 8 games last week. So let's get into it. I haven't really looked at this until now, so you guys are getting my fresh, in-the-moment decision-making process for each of these games. So tonight is going to be Cincinnati at Baltimore. AFC North games are very tough to predict. Are very hard to understand because it's just something about the way they play is dirty. It's ugly. But for me, I got a hard time betting against Baltimore at home. Let me take a look at more of the matchup here. So the Bengals are hot. They've won 4 of their past 5 games. And Baltimore, I got to go with my gut here. I'm going to go with the home team in Baltimore because especially in the AFC North games, it's such a crapshoot. You're just better off kind of going with the home team and throwing your hands up. So that's what I'm going to do. Arizona is visiting Houston. Houston is favored, of course. And I'm going to have to give it to Houston. They're just the better team. Arizona can make it tough, but Houston's playing too good right now for me to bet against them. So I'm rolling with the home team in Houston. Chicago at Detroit. We talked about it. Detroit. What's the spread? 7.5. Division game. That's not unreasonable. But yeah, we got Lions against the Bears. Come on now. Dallas at Carolina. It has to be Dallas, right? Yeah. Dallas is favored by over 10. We're going with Dallas. Chargers at Green Bay. After the game that the Chargers played against us and how Green Bay is a little bit... I'm going with the road team Chargers. Vegas at Miami. Miami plays very good at home. And I believe that they are getting A-Chain back. Some of their offense is coming back. They're undefeated at home. The Dolphins. And the Raiders are coming back. Let's not sleep on the Raiders here, even though the spread is Miami minus 13.5. Wow. I didn't know it was that. I just clicked on it. I didn't know it was that wide of a spread. But I think the game is going to be close. Closer than 13.5. But to pick straight up, I got to go with Miami. They play good at home, and this is their time to... there would still be the cloud of who have you really beaten, but I got to go with the home team. Go with Miami. New York Giants at Washington. Washington kind of sold the farm at the trade deadline, but the Giants are awful. So, going with Washington easily. Yeah, Washington's favored by 9. Pittsburgh at Cleveland. Another gross AFC North divisional battle. This one taking place at Cleveland. And neither offenses are very good. Deshaun Watson's out for the season. And I believe they're rolling with DTR. And Pittsburgh, like I said, you got to kind of pick the home team and throw your hands up with this one. It's Browns and Steelers, and both with good defenses and questionable offenses. What's the total? 33. Yep, that's about right. But I'm going to... It's about dead even. Cleveland -1. And I keep saying the spreads, but I pick just straight up. It's as simple as that. But I'm going to go with Cleveland. Tennessee at Jacksonville, another division showdown. Tennessee don't look so good. Jacksonville doesn't look so good either after I lost to the 49ers. But I got to go with Jacksonville in this one. It's 6-3 against 3-6, and 6-3 is at home. Just give me the Jaguars. Let's not put too much nuance on it. Tampa Bay at San Francisco. San Francisco. New York Jets at Buffalo. Now this one's even tough. This one's tough too because neither team is that good. And I think let me think of the matchup here. So you got Buffalo's turnover-heavy offense against a really good Jets defense. But then you got a horrible Jets offense against a pretty good Bills defense. The Jets are just really bad, but Buffalo don't look too good either. I'm gonna have to give it to Buffalo. I don't think the Jets sweep Buffalo in the season. I can't see that. Seattle at Los Angeles. Now the Rams. That one's tough. They're favored by just 1. I can't remember who's playing court. I can't remember if Stafford is hurt. Can't remember if he's hurt or not, but that's part of the GioMoShow picks. We don't get to know all the information. Yeah, we'll flex that one. We'll flex that, Giovanni. So I'm gonna go with Seattle. Just gut feeling. Now Minnesota at Denver. The Vikings have won 5 in a row. Let me make sure. Yeah, they've won their last 5 games. Denver has been picking it up themselves, though. For me, the momentum's got to end eventually. So I'm going to go with Denver, and they pick it up, and both teams kind of level out. And then Philadelphia at Kansas City, this Monday night Super Bowl rematch. And oh crap, I'm out of time. So gut feeling in this one, Philly has got to really, I got to imagine that they're more juiced up than the Chiefs are coming off of a loss, and this is revenge for them. Gut feeling, I dig the Eagles, and for seeding purposes, obviously it's not good for the Lions, but I got Philadelphia in this one. And that total, both defenses are pretty good, so total I'm going to go 40. And we save the picks, and we're locked and loaded for Week 11 of the NFL season. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to the GioMoShow, and we'll see how we do. Thank you for tuning in for the picks, for Football Therapy, for Oakland Club Sports, and Oakland NCAA Sports. Thank you for tuning in for all of it. I really appreciate it. And we'll see you next week on the GioMoShow. Sometime we'll figure out the Thanksgiving thing. But we'll see you on WXOU sometime, somewhere, sometime next week.